In Japan, there are over 200,000 professional ninjas. They blend into the crowd, always ready to carry out dangerous missions for their organization. Suzuki is a low-ranking ninja disguised as a magazine editor. One day, she receives a sudden text, hastily bids farewell to a writer, and rushes to an overpass. Standing before her is a Russian man, a notorious ninja hunter, and her latest target. The showdown is about to begin. Suzuki moves like a feather on the wind, but her opponent is no slouch either. Not far away, elite ninja Kato watches silently from the shadows. This high-stakes mission could determine whether Suzuki earns her promotion to mid-rank, but as the fight drags on, Suzuki begins to tire. She's losing ground. Suddenly, she pulls out a stun baton from who knows where. A jolt of electricity forces them apart, but then the man draws a gun and aims at the now exhausted Suzuki. Just then, a toothpick whizzes through the air and pierces the man's arm. Effortlessly, a man locks the hunter in a chokehold, holding it until he passes out. Suzuki tries to ask his name, but he's already gone, vanishing like mist in the morning sun. His name? Kurō Kumogakure. Technically a low-ranking ninja, but really, he's a total slacker, wasting away in a cheap apartment. Bored out of his mind, he's been practicing blow darts with toothpicks.
暇そうだな。
Then suddenly, someone slips into his room without a sound, clearly a superior. It's Kato, here to give him a mission. After World War II, a group of rebel ninjas formed a secretive organization known as the Underground Ninjas. Now, intel suggests they've infiltrated Jōtan High School. That school was built on the ruins of the old Nakano Military School, a place that might still be hiding wartime secrets. Kurō's mission: go undercover at the school and uncover their plan. To boost his odds, Kato gives him a new stealth suit, except it only turns his upper body invisible. What about his legs? As Kurō goofs off with the half-invisible suit, a voice calls from the bathroom. It's his female roommate, yelling for toilet paper, but Kurō's a gentleman, kind of. He closes his eyes and prepares to help.
Dozo.
The next morning, Kurō arrived at Jōtan High School, utterly dead inside because he had to take an entrance exam. Sporting a ruggedly handsome but weary face, Kurō quickly caught the attention of Noguchi, another student retaking the test. Once inside the classroom, Kurō walked a slow circle while staring at the floor before choosing a seat right next to Noguchi. Turns out, the organization had already planted an answer key on the floor using color-coded rice grains and a secret ninja cipher. Just as Kurō was about to copy the answers, Noguchi suddenly screamed he thought the rice grains were bugs. The teacher immediately told him to grab a broom and clean it up. Kurō knew he couldn't just sit there and do nothing. As Noguchi and the teacher argued, Kurō quickly copied the language test answers. But just then, the teacher stepped right on the rice-coated cheat sheet, scattering it beyond recognition. With no other options left, Kurō unleashed his ultimate ninja technique.
Ninpo, Suito no Jutsu.
Putting on a masterclass in acting, he dramatically explained he was so nervous about today's test that he drank way too much water. The teacher sighed and admitted, honestly, the entrance exam is just for show. Even if you turn in a blank sheet, we wouldn't expel you. That only made Kurō sob even harder. To dig up more intel on the school, Kurō invited Noguchi over to his place, unaware that the invitation sounded a little too suggestive. Still, Noguchi had already come this far, so she reluctantly followed. But clueless as ever, Kurō led him not indoors but up to the rooftop. Trying to break the awkward silence, Kurō asked about school rumors. Noguchi said it was rumored there was an old World War II military base hidden beneath the school. Kurō realized this might be what the underground ninjas are after. As the sun began to set, Noguchi tried to head home, but slipped and plummeted straight off the roof. Without hesitation, Kurō leapt after him, using his body as a human cushion. Turns out, the stealth suit had a hidden safety feature, but Noguchi was clearly terrified by the whole ordeal. The next morning, Kurō walked into the classroom right alongside Ida. a student who had taken a semester off due to bullying. As expected, the school bullies went straight for the easy target, but clearly, they picked the wrong day to mess around. Kurō headed to the back row. His earlier actions had already earned the admiration of Mitsuki, the class beauty, and her seatmate Kawato, but he soon noticed Noguchi glaring at him with a dark, jealous intensity. Just then, a beam of light flickered across his face. It was a secret signal used by ninjas. Kurō stood up without a word and walked straight out of the classroom. Clearly, the teacher had never seen a student with that much attitude. On the rooftop, a boy was waiting. Saryuta, a high-ranking ninja, is his name. That night, he tried to intervene but Kurō beat him to it. Like Kurō, Shioni's also an undercover agent at the school, tasked with tracking down members of the underground ninjas. Another ninja in disguise? The school's own discipline director. He told Kurō to meet him at the boiler room after class, then vanished without a trace. Kurō showed up as instructed, only for the director to suddenly draw a katana from behind his back. He explained that modern ninja warfare isn't about swords anymore, it's about technology. According to his intel, the underground ninjas had set their sights on a satellite orbiting above. Not only was it a deadly laser weapon, but it also stored data on all 200,000 ninjas in Japan. If it fell into the wrong hands, it could spark a bloodbath. And now, he was going to let Kurō experience just how powerful laser weapons really are. Kurō stumbled out of the boiler room, still shaken. Then he saw Mitsuki, the class beauty, waiting nearby for reasons unknown. She flashed him a cryptic smile and walked away without saying a word. Cut to a nearby convenience store. A customer had just left when the automatic doors opened again by themselves. One by one, snacks began falling from the shelves. Suzuki, nearby, got the alert someone had just killed her mentor, a female ninja, and at that exact moment, Suzuki realized the assassin was sent by the underground ninjas and he had a fully functional invisibility suit. Just then, Kawato happened to be passing by after school. Suzuki shouted at him not to harm any civilians.
お前の死に場所はここではない。講談高校だ。
That night, the TV news reported a bizarre story. The satellite rocket launched at noon was missing the satellite. Noguchi's parents burst out laughing at the blunder, while she, feeling utterly bored, headed back to his room. The past few days had completely filled his mind with thoughts of Kurō, as she fantasized about a happy life together. Kurō appeared silently standing beside his bed in the middle of the night. The ninja at the convenience store had been assassinated, and Kurō feared the underground ninjas were about to strike. Jōtan High would soon become a battleground. He warned Noguchi to stay away from school for the next few days. Then, without another word, Kurō leapt out the window and vanished. The next morning, as a student was just about to step into school, a shadowy figure appeared out of nowhere.
あれなんで俺の体が見えんの
Meanwhile, Noguchi went to school anyway. He ran into the discipline director and told him Kurō had sneaked into his home the night before. The director's expression instantly changed. He handed Noguchi a ring box and told him to give it to Kurō if he saw him again, then rushed off in a hurry. Cut to, a headless body suddenly appears in the classroom. The door slams shut on its own, and the room descends into chaos. Terrified students scrambled to escape. Suzuki, still a low-ranking ninja, got the call and raced to the scene.
ほらほら、君も戻って。
She whipped out her baton, but the assassin dropped their invisibility and removed their mask. It was Saryuta. 5 years ago, Saryuta had pursued Suzuki relentlessly. Heartbroken after Suzuki gently rejected his love, he defected and joined the underground ninjas. Now consumed by hatred, Saryuta held nothing back. The two clashed violently. Suzuki's hand-to-hand combat was sharper. She quickly gained the upper hand, but she had overlooked one key thing. His invisibility suit was insulated. Just as things turned critical, a figure crashed through the window. It was Kato. Against a high-ranking ninja, Saryuta stood no chance. He pulled his mask back on and disappeared into stealth mode. But Kato didn't flinch. With lightning reflexes, he sliced his palm and flung his blood onto Saryuta, marking his invisible form. Meanwhile, Noguchi was still searching for Kurō when he ran straight into a panicked Ida. Ida explained that the school bullies tried to mess with him yesterday. Kurō stepped in and gave them a solid beating. Right after that, Kurō had asked him if there were any unexplored tunnels or caves nearby. Turns out, while the bullies weren't great at school, they did know about a hidden passage in the area rumored to lead to an old World War II-era air raid shelter connected to the Nakano Military School. Kurō ventured in alone. As he walked through the eerie tunnel, a girl's silhouette appeared ahead. It was Mitsuki, the class beauty, and the mastermind behind everything. Mitsuki was far more powerful than Kurō had imagined. He launched 2 high-voltage cables at her, but she caught them with her bare hands, seemingly immune to the searing electricity. Cut to Saryuta wandering the school grounds, only to be blocked by a figure. That was Shion Hachiya. He drew his katana and lunged without hesitation. Even without sight, Shion could track Saruta's movements by the sound of glass shards cracking beneath his feet. A red laser dot appeared on Saruta's chest. The orbital satellite had locked onto him, but just as the satellite prepared to fire, Saryuta, sensing danger, broke free from the targeting zone with all his strength. Shion gave chase and finally caught up to Saryuta on the rooftop. He swung his blade but only struck Saruta's coat. The next instant, Saryuta appeared behind him. Caught off guard, Shion tried to parry, but his katana snapped clean in two. Though Shion was nimble, Saruta's longer weapon gave him the edge. After a few fierce exchanges, Shion took a slash to the abdomen. Now wounded and overwhelmed, he had no choice but to defend himself with half a blade. Back in the underground tunnel, Kurō struggled to his feet. He knew he had no chance of beating Mitsuki, but he still wanted to know her true goal. Mitsuki finally revealed everything. She had deliberately spread false intel to lure the ninjas to the school hall, to trick the ninja organization into activating the orbital laser satellite. Using hacked data, they had reverse-tracked the satellite's location, and that satellite-less rocket from yesterday? It wasn't empty at all. It was hiding an underground ninja in an invisibility suit. That ninja was now in space, headed straight for the satellite. At that moment, Mitsuki lost all patience, and in the next second, facing the overwhelming might of Mitsuki, Kurō kept dodging, but it was only buying him time. Just then, Noguchi arrived. Guided by Ida, he handed Kurō the ring given to him by the discipline director. Kurō slipped it on and extended the antenna. Suddenly, the hum of a drone filled the air and a katana hovered into view beside him. He grabbed the blade, then swept a handful of dust from the ground with his foot. Kurō's mind raced with ways to take her down. A direct fight was suicide. Even with the invisibility suit, his exposed hands and legs meant Mitsuki would still see through him. So he let go of everything. No more distractions, just him and the blade. Kurō shoved Mitsuki away. He was already at his limit. Staggering, Noguchi rushed forward, catching him just in time, and the two stumbled toward the exit. Meanwhile, in space, the underground ninja had breached the satellite, uploading a virus. He seized control of the laser system. With one twist of a dial, the power level surged to max. The school below erupted into a sea of fire. The shockwave rattled the underground shelter. It began to collapse, but the exit was still far away. Kurō knew they wouldn't make it. Struggling to stay on his feet, he removed the invisibility cloak and draped it over Noguchi. Rubble rained from above, burying them both. Time passed. In the end, Noguchi stepped out. The invisibility cloak had saved Shi's life. The ninja organization publicly claimed it was a methane gas explosion beneath the school that caused the tragedy. A month went by. Noguchi, still mourning, spent every day missing Kurō, but one night, as she returned to his room, he found a strange man had somehow snuck in unnoticed.
俺は雲隠れ十郎だ。